One thing is for sure, Kalen DeBoer is going to have his work cut out for him. Stepping into those shoes left by Nick Saban. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's funny,
but Saban left the place in pretty good condition. Let's just say that, though, too.
Well,
it's not like the walls are coming down around DeBoer, So,
yeah. Were you kind of surprised to see that it was Kalen DeBoer that Alabama hired, or did you think it was going to be someone else like a Dabo Sweeney or maybe even a Kirby Smart or? There was a lot of momentum for Tommy Reese too, Ben.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up. Kirby Smart more than anybody else. So one of my wife's best friends, her family is diehard Alabama. Like her husband was born and raised in Alabama. He's been an Alabama fan his whole life, so he's seen the ups and downs. This is not a family that they just all of a sudden started. And I was talking with her, and she was saying that she really hoped it was Kirby Smart and he would come back, because obviously he had a ton of success with Saban at Alabama. But I told her, I'm like, you would have to give Kirby Smart, A, the keys to Tuscaloosa, and B, more money than anybody has ever seen when it comes to coaching to get him away from Georgia. So I didn't see that coming. What was the shock for me was Tommy Reese even being in consideration for Alabama. I figured Tommy Reese would go somewhere like Northwestern, Wisconsin, somewhere like that, and start there and then try to make a name for himself. And then if he's successful, then maybe get a program like Alabama. But to see his name even mentioned was pretty crazy to me. And Dabo, I don't know if you saw this, but the amount of money that he would have to lose to leave Clemson, in my opinion, is not worth going to Alabama.
No.
So yeah. No, Reese was the shocker for me.
Yeah, because it's just like he's not ready. I mean, regardless of how you might feel about Tommy Reese, especially in the Notre Dame fan base, he's not ready to be a head coach.
No.
At least not at that high of a level.
No. If you want, like I said, if you wanted to take somewhere else, sure. But yeah, no, I didn't. And that wasn't even me having disdain for Tommy Reese. That was more just me like, dude, if you make him head coach, you're setting him up for failure. I mean, you're going to not only inherit a big name program, but you're going to inherit, without a doubt, one of the most dominant programs in the last 15 years. And a legacy that you have to continue on that Nick Saban has left. That's a daunting task.
Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure. Just not trying to just jump topics here, but Kalen DeBoer, correct me if I'm wrong, but he is not a part of the Nick Saban coaching tree. Because it doesn't look like it.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where or who he is related to.
Well,
I think it's more just, look at what he did in a place like Washington, which is hard to do.
Yeah,
that's what I think it was.
Yeah, because Alabama's going to be his looks like his fourth stop as a head coach, because he was at as far as head coaching goes, he's been the head coach at Sioux Falls, Fresno State, Washington, most recently, and now Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been an offensive coordinator. He's been wide receivers coach, quarterbacks coach. Excuse me. And yeah, it doesn't look like he's part of the Nick Saban coaching tree. So that's why I bring that up. Is I didn't think that he was. And I've been looking it up. It doesn't seem like he is, but are you as shocked as I am, Ben, that Alabama decided not to go with somebody from the Saban coaching tree?
I think there was probably more going on with that than we know. And I think there was probably a lot of guys that were either nah, I'm not about that life, or you look at Kalen DeBoer's record, he has 12 losses as a head coach. He's 104-12 at places like Fresno State, Sioux Falls, and Washington. I mean, Washington hasn't been good since the 90s. They've been decent. Like, they've been a decent program and they've made some noise, but they haven't been on the level of like Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, nothing like that. So to see Kalen DeBoer, especially right now, where your neighbor in Oregon is totally dominating the Pacific and getting all those recruits, that's impressive. And I think that's the biggest reason why Alabama was like, yep, we need to grab that guy.